ready now, Don Diego.
Sergeant, permit me a suggestion.
See?
Well, don't you think Bernardo would be a little less conspicuous if he were not so well guarded?
Corporal, Lugo. No, not you. This one, not you. You stay here. Stand.
What is it you want me to do, Sergeant?
Pick out the man who shot you and who robbed the senorita, if you can.
Certainly, Sergeant. This is the bandido.
The Walt Disney Studio presents Zorro, starring Guy Williams.
Senor.
Senorita, what happened?
That man, he tried to kill me and rob me.
I can understand your disappointment in your servant, Senor de la Vega, but there's nothing more I can tell you. Apparently, the bullet struck my head. The next thing I knew, I was being carried away. I fought to free myself, and then Sergeant Garcia came along.
Senorita, I understand that my servant Bernardo found you lying there and was trying to help you.
Naturally, he would say that.
You say you were robbed?
I was.
Well, just exactly what was taken?
1,000 pesos in gold and...
It was money that belonged to the mission, Don Diego.
Sergeant, may I see the money?
We told you, Don Diego, it was stolen.
Your servant took it.
Senorita, how long were you unconscious?
I don't know. It seemed only a moment.
But it was long enough for someone to kill your servant, hide the body, unhitch the horses, overturn the carriage, and take the gold.
It must have been.
And then after the bandido left, Bernardo came along, found you lying there, and was trying to help you.
Sergeant, it is possible we've made a terrible mistake.
We have? Good. Yeah, I mean, then the little one did not do it.
Sergeant, you must release that poor man at once.
Come in.
Is this the senorita who was robbed?
Everything's been cleared up, Father. Senorita Villagran now realizes that Bernardo was only trying to help her.
Does that mean that Bernardo is free?
He is free, Don Alejandro. Enter! Well, Corporal Reyes, don't stand there scaring the little one half to death. Get out. You too, Lugo, out, out. Oh, no, not you, little one, not you. You do not have to go with the soldiers. You are free. See, little one, see, you are free.
How do I tell him I'm sorry?
Just smile to show him you aren't angry with him anymore.
That's my brooch.
Are you sure, senorita?
Well, see for yourself. There's still a piece of my dress on it.
Now, just a moment. I'm sure he can explain this.
Sergeant, evidently our mistake was in thinking he was innocent. I demand you arrest him for robbery and murder.
I hope this does some good, Don Diego. I don't want to see the little one hang.
He's not going to hang, Sergeant. He didn't do anything.
I know it, and you know it, but all the proof we have is against him.
Well, where's the servant? And what happened to the gold?
I don't know, Don Diego. That is why we are here. Well, little one, go ahead. Show us exactly what you did. I want you to... Please, Don Diego, you tell him.
Bernardo knows what you want him to do. He's just waiting for the word to begin. That must be where he found the brooch.
Go on, then what happened?
That's where he found the senorita. There's your fight, Sergeant. That's what made the senorita think he was trying to kill her. And then in you came.
See, Don Diego, but he still has not explained who killed the senorita's servant and who took the gold.
Well, he can't explain it because he doesn't know. Someone else did it.
Someone else who, Don
I
Diego?
don't.
I met the corporal on the road. He told me you were out here.
Has something happened?
Sergeant...
In a moment, Corporal.
I talked to the doctor. After thinking it over, he is not at all certain that Senorita Villagrana was shot.
But she was, Don Alejandro. I saw it right here.
He says the wound was made by a blow on the head from behind.
Well, Sergeant, there are your answers. Now we know what happened.
We do?
If two people are riding in a carriage and one of them is struck on the head, isn't it logical to assume that the other did the striking?
Of course, Don Diego. Then the little one couldn't have done it.
Of course not.
He was standing in the road with a pistol.
He was not. Bernardo had nothing to do with it.
The senorita's servant, Montez, struck her. The man with the hood was an accomplice. That would explain how he knew about the 1,000 pesos. It was supposed to be a secret, remember?
Sergeant. Quiet, Corporal. Perhaps that is the reason we could not find his body.
Of course it is. The men took the gold and ran away. They're probably 100 miles from here by now.
Sergeant,
All right, Corporal. What is it?
the senorita's servant.
What about him?
He's in your office now. He's been wounded.
Why didn't you say so? Don Diego, if the servant did not run away, then he must be innocent. And if he is innocent, then the little one, he must be guilty.
I'm sorry, senores, but a broken arm can be quite painful.
We understand, Montez. Please go on with your story.
I'm sorry, but that's all there is.
Well, would you mind telling it again?
Again?
Si, por favor. I found it very interesting. Don't you, Sergeant?
See, Don Diego, but every time he tells it, the little one gets in more trouble.
Well, I was driving along with Senorita Villagran when the bandito stepped out and shot me.
Breaking your arm.
Si, senor, breaking my arm. The horses ran off the road, and the senorita struck her head against the carriage.
That explains the wound on the senorita's head, Don Diego.
Yes, Sergeant. I would say that explains the wound quite well. The carriage rolled over, you dragged the senorita out, despite your broken arm.
Si, senor. I couldn't fight back. So when the bandito came after us, I ran away to get help.
And you just happened to meet Senor Lopez, who just happens to live in San Rafael, where the senorita just happens to live.
Si, senor. He was going to Los Angeles on business. He bandaged my arm for me, and then we returned to the carriage. But the senorita was gone.
I had already taken her to Los Angeles.
But I didn't know that, Sergeant. So Senor Lopez and I spent some time searching the hills for the senorita. Then he brought me into Los Angeles. He's waiting in the tavern for you in case you want to talk to him.
One thing more, Montez. Tell me, where did you hide the money?
I didn't hide it. The bandito took it. Sergeant, please, my arm.
I'm sorry, Montez. I must get to the bottom of this.
Sergeant, I think it would be a good idea if you would ask the good Samaritan Lopez to also remain in Los Angeles.
I cannot remain in Los Angeles. The senorita must return home. And Senor Lopez plans to go back to San Rafael immediately.
Then he will just have to change his plans. No one will be allowed to leave Los Angeles as long as Bernardo is under suspicion.
Gracias, Sergeant.
If only the senorita had seen the bandito's face. Then we could prove once and for all that the little one is innocent.
I saw the bandito's face, Sergeant.
You did?
Just a moment, Montez. I thought you said he wore a hood.
He did. He took it off. When he came after us, I saw him then.
Was he a little man with a bald head?
See, Sergeant, he was.
Well, come out to the jail, identify him, and then you can go back to San Rafael.
Just a moment, Sergeant.
I'm sorry, Don Diego, but Montes must be allowed to identify Bernardo.
Well, he'll get his chance. But I'm sure there must be other short, bald-headed men in Los Angeles. Now, you stand Bernardo in a line with 5 or 6 of them. Then let Montes pick him out if he can. Everything ready?
See, Don Diego. Montes is in the pantry where he cannot see anyone. I have Bernardo just outside.
Well, Sergeant, since I only found Montez on the road, I never saw the bandito. I can't be of much help. So I will get out of your way.
Of course, Senor Lopez. I will go and get the little one now.
Senores. Si, senor. I want to thank you for coming here and cooperating with Sergeant Garcia and myself.
Oh, then
All we want you to do is to stand in a row. That's fine. Now, I must ask you not to react in any way. Just stand quietly and look straight ahead.
Si, senor.
Where do you want him to stand, Don Diego?
You pick a spot, Sergeant.
Would you two, senores, mind stepping apart a little, por favor? We're all ready now, Don Diego.
Sergeant, permit me a suggestion.
See?
Well, don't you think Bernardo would be a little less conspicuous if he were not so well guarded?
See. Corporal, Lugo. No, not you, little one, not you. You stay here. Here, stand. Here. Bring in Montes.
Bring in Montes.
What is it you want me to do, Sergeant?
Pick out the man who shot you and who robbed the senorita, if you can.
Certainly, Sergeant. This is the bandido.
Take the little one back to his cell, Corporal.
Montes, I wish to leave for San Rafael in the morning. Have you arranged for the carriages I told you?
Si, señorita.
If you'll excuse me, senors.
Well, don't give up, Sergeant. There's still the problem of what happened to the 1,000 pesos. You didn't find them on Bernardo, you know.
Si, Don Diego, but in the face of all the other evidence, somehow I do not think it will matter to Judge Bosca.
Judge Bosca? Is he going to preside at the trial?
Si, Don Alejandro. He arrives tomorrow. And you know he always hangs bandidos.
Well, Sergeant, tomorrow's a long way off.
Si, Don Diego. No, it isn't. It's just tomorrow.
Buenas tardes, Sergeant.
Why did you not let me speak, Diego? You saw what happened in there. That Lopez, or whatever his name is, signaled to the servant that Bernardo was the fourth man in line.
Well, no one else saw it, and we couldn't prove it.
Bernardo will hang unless someone proves something.
Don't worry, Father. Someone will prove something.
I don't like it. Why should we have to go back to San Rafael? We have the money.
It would arouse suspicion if we didn't. After they hang the deaf mute, we can go anywhere we like.
When do I get my share? There's no danger of my being searched now.
I have it. Here.
Well, Corporal, we might as well go back to the quartel. We can't help the little one sitting here.
See, Sergeant. What's the matter, Sergeant?
Nothing, Corporal.
the matter, Corporal?
Nothing, Sergeant. I didn't see a thing. I just thought I did.
You too, huh?
See, Sergeant.
If you wish to help me prove that Don Diego's servant is innocent, senorita, you'll remain silent. You too, Sergeant. Here are your bandidos. Both of them.
Both of them? I thought there was
Be
only
quiet,
one.
Sergeant. And now, senor, you will tell me the true story of the robbery.
I don't know what you're talking about, Senor Zorro.
I'm talking about this.
The money.
I can explain that.
All right. Explain it.
Zorro, look out! He has a knife!
Thanks for the warning, Sergeant. Did you ever see a broken arm heal more quickly? It's all yours, Sergeant.
Gracias, I have him.
If he does not wish to confess.
Oh, he will, Senor Zorro. And he did confess, Don Diego. He and Senor Lopez planned the whole robbery.
Sergeant, that was excellent work.
It was nothing. Just a little...
A little help from Zorro?
See it. A little.
I'm so sorry for causing your servant so much trouble, Senor de la Vega. I want to show him how sorry I am.
Oh, that's not necessary, senorita.
I know, but... Here. You admire this so much, I want you to have it.
Next week, two high-spirited peons whose love for each other starts a chain reaction of explosive events.
Run, Buena, run!
Two young lovers forced to become fugitives from their own people.
Drop the knife, senor, if you wish to live.
You'll thrill to the breathtaking action of this unusual story next week when the Walt Disney Studio presents Zorro.
Out of the night, when the full moon is bright, comes a horseman known as Zorro. This bold renegade carves a Z with his blade, a Z that stands for Zorro. Zorro, Zorro. sign of the Z. Zorro, Zorro.